would you think the biggest mistake is in the solar industry when comparing quotes?
Not going back to the installer.
What's the biggest myth around solar in New Jersey, specifically in the winter months?
Well, if you get snow on the roof, it won't work until
What separates a good solar install from a bad one the homeowners never see?
a good solar install from a bad one. So if you're looking at it aesthetically,
What are some other things like that that homeowners should be aware of in the industry that really some of these guys, are not so honest about? What would you say the most challenging thing is about installing solar panels in someone's house?
everything it's not cookie cutter.
So what's the biggest lie New Jersey homeowners believe about the cost of solar?
All the ads that are free.
What's going on, Hilton? How you doing?
Not much, just hanging out. Enjoying the new year so far.
Yeah, man. New year. It's 2026, man. About to hopefully get this thing going. Last year was a little bit rough. We just talked a little bit about that with a lot of these home service companies. So 26 is hopefully looking good. I have a good feeling about 26.
Yeah, I'm hoping a lot of things are changing in my industry, so we're adapting as it comes and seeing how everything goes and change accordingly.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, we have Hilton here from Sundial. Hilton is in the solar industry. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about the solar industry? How'd you get into it? Let's go back to, back in the day. How'd you got involved in the solar industry?
Long story short, I was actually looking for solar for my house in Wharton when I was living there. My wife and I just recently got married. We bought a home, and one of her biggest expense was the electric bill at the time. While she was looking for work, believe it or not, she interviewed for a marketing position at the solar company locally, and they found out I did heating and air conditioning, electrical background, and they brought me in for an interview, and I've been working there for about 6 years before I started my own company. So piqued my interest. I learned a lot of what to do, what not to do. Ran with it ever since. Enjoy it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the question I guess a lot of homeowners would probably have is, did you actually save on your electric bill? I guess that's a big thing, right, in the solar industry? Like, is it worth it? Are people really saving money on their electric bill?
Yeah, if you could afford to finance it or buy it outright, that's where the savings are there for you. Basically, you get to keep all the incentives at the time. It's gone now, but the solar tax credit is a big thing. It was 30% of your expense. New Jersey has a great program called the SREC program. Change over to the T-REC. Now it's something a little different, but it's $85 for every REC you produce, which is 1,000 kilowatt hours. Doesn't matter if you use it or not. You get credit for the total production of your system. So break-even point is about 5 to 7 years on your investment, which is pretty good with the tax credit. Without tax credit, it's probably going to be closer to 10.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, so I mean, really, if this has to be for homeowners that are looking to stay in this house for a long time, that makes the most sense, right? What happens if they sell that house in like 3 years or something?
We get asked that question quite a bit. One of the things with solar does increase your property value quite a bit. So you could pass on, if you have a loan, you could pass on the loan to the new homeowner if you're not buying it outright. If you're looking to, sell your house real quick and you still want solar, I'd recommend going the loan route, because in most loans you could transfer in the solar industry to another person that's buying the home.
Yep.
There's a leasing option too, which I really don't recommend, but it's another route to get in there, especially if you don't have taxable income. If you can't use a tax credit, that's a good route to go. But
yep.
I usually recommend if you could use it, finance or own outright, you get more rights that way.
Okay. Yeah. So lease or finance. So that's the option that they have, really. I mean, it comes down to, does it come down to cost? Like, is it a big cost difference? Like if someone leases it like a vehicle, like if you lease a car, a lot of times the payment's a lot lower versus if you finance it. I mean, how does that work?
So the payment generally is lower the leasing option, but there's a big difference in leasing and financing in our industry. Financing, obviously you own it. You pay it off within 15, 20 years, depending on the lease, on the finance. Leasing option, you pay a reduced electric bill, basically. Most leasing options have this thing called an accelerator in it. So after like the fourth or fifth year, it starts going up like 1 or 3%, depending on the company that they have sponsoring their lease. They own your roof. They take your SRECs in New Jersey. They take your tax credit. So you generally lose out on the lease in the long run.
Yeah, they're taking all the benefits, it sounds like.
Basically.
For a lower payment.
And you still have a payment. You still have an electric bill basically for 20, 25 years till the lease runs out.
Yeah.
So
now, who's responsible on a lease? Let's say if something goes wrong with that system. I mean, are they covering that up to a certain amount of years, or how does that work?
It's supposed to be the leasing company, but from my experience, I get a lot of calls from people who have solar leases come out and fix their systems when there's something wrong, whether it be rodents underneath the panels like squirrels or birds, leaks on a roof, or inverter stops working altogether. A lot of the times the leasing company tries to get the original installer to go out there and do the work, and they're not around anymore. So they tell the homeowner, you got to find someone else. And unfortunately, they don't cover it, which is awful.
I just had that scenario literally last week where a lead came in, said they had a leak in the roof. So I'm like, all right, let me come check it out. We went and looked at it, and they had solar panels. I was like, well, the roof looked pretty decent. I'm like, it doesn't look like it's in bad shape. How long ago did you put this solar system on? They're like, I don't know, 6 months ago. And I never had a leak before this solar was put on. So I'm like, all right, well, you probably want to go back to your solar company who put the install on, because it seems like it's coming from the solar panels. And that solar company's out of business. So now what happens? So those people are kind of, they can't really do anything, right? As far as getting coverage, how does that typically work?
Oh, unfortunately, in that scenario, it's going to be an expense out of pocket. And then the contractor, solar company is coming in, is going to assess where the leak's coming from, if there's any more damage on the roof, if it was installed properly, if it was installed on a newer roof or it's an older roof, if there was any corners cut, if they use flashing or not. If they install the flashing properly, if they did use the flashing. Most cases, the flashing's not installed properly, or the roof is tore up when they're trying to put the flashing in, inexperienced, or if they just hired a lot of guys to get the jobs done because they sold a lot real quick and they grew too fast and lost quality. So
there's a lot of guys in the solar industry that are really just good at, door knocking, generating leads, sales, right? That's like their big thing. And then they grow really fast. And I guess issues happen with banks where they can't get the money to put the installs in, and they go belly up, right? There's a lot of tax credit issues with the government, right?
Yeah. One of the things that they fail to tell homeowners is the tax credit. If you have taxable income, or you owe the government taxes at the end of the year quite a bit and you don't get a return, that's the ideal customer you want to get. You can utilize the whole 30% of the tax credit. There are some cases where homeowners maybe going to use a portion of tax credit and they can't capitalize on the rest of the 30% because they have a lot of write-offs, whether it be their mortgage interest, child tax credit, if they own their own business and they operate at a loss, another write-off. So it's a couple different things. So.
Yeah. Now, as far as getting the solar system installed, a lot of these houses don't have adequate roofs, right? So let's talk a little bit about that, because if you go to a house and it has let's say a 15-year-old roof, are you putting a new solar system on that roof?
I wouldn't.
Are guys doing that though?
There are guys that do it. There are guys that avoid the roof in general because they're afraid to lose a sale.
Wow.
I won't install a roof that's older than, believe it or not, 10 years old in some cases. Depends on the wear and tear on the roof in the area. Sometimes a 10-year-old roof looks great, and sometimes a 10-year-old roof looks a lot older than it is. But if the homeowner refuses to not replace the roof, I just walk away from the project altogether, because I don't want my name tied to a roof that I know is going to leak in the future or have issues. Even if you install it properly, it's going to have issues down the line.
Yeah, because it's not cheap to take those panels off, right? To take them off, have the roof done, and then put them back on, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. That's an expensive process. I hear a lot of talk about, a wide range of what people charge to do that, right? Because I've come across a couple of roofs now that have solar panels on that have to be replaced, and we've talked actually about this. So, what does that typically run? What's like industry average? What should homeowners expect to pay to rip off those old panels and then have them reinstalled?
I've seen from $150 a panel to almost like $300 a panel. And to remove or reinstall.
There's a lot of panels, right? When you're talking, just like a 3,000 square foot house, potentially you could have how many panels on that roof?
You can have up to 50, 60 panels, or as low as 20, so it all depends on the customer.
Yeah.
But that's like one of the big fallacies they do get. A lot of the things I get when I'm at a negotiating table with a customer is, this other solar company said the roof is good, and their engineer says the roof is good for solar. I'm like, well, the engineer doesn't look at roof condition. He looks at the structure, see if it can handle the weight load. That's a big difference if the roof is good or not for solar. Yeah. So, you try to educate the homeowner as best you can on the process. It's not an easy process, especially when you have 2 or 3 other solar companies telling the roof is good and you're the opposite guy.
Yep.
But like I said, I'd rather lose a sale with honesty than just sign the contract just to make money. At that point, it's my name on the roof.
Well, of course, because I'm imagining if there's an issue, let's say a year, 2, 3 years down the road, they're going to come back to you because you put those panels on, and now because of the roof is not in good condition, that is why there are issues. So why would you put yourself in that position where a lot of these other guys don't care? They just go. It's a volume game, right?
I'd read the fine print in the contracts too. There's a lot of companies out there that say if their leak is not within 12 inches of penetration, it's not on them.
Okay.
But you and I know a leak could be here, but it could have started someplace else.
It's impossible to tell exactly. Yeah, I mean, not impossible, but it's very difficult to know the exact source of that leak
exactly
on a roof. Yeah, so that's like definitely a cop out. And what are some other things like that your homeowner should be aware of in the industry that really some of these guys are not so honest about?
Roofing condition is one. Electrical panel upgrades is another. I'd say.
What, because they say they don't need an electrical panel upgrade?
Yeah, I've seen some cases where I come in as a subcontractor and doing electrical work, and I look at the panel. I'm like, how did they miss all these issues? And then it becomes a bigger can of worms. And sometimes I look like I'm the bad guy telling them this. I'm like, well, it should have been caught on an initial survey of whoever came in and looked at it. I've been asked to try to install like a Pushmatics or Federal Pacific panels, and no, I can't. You can't touch those panels because they're fire hazards. So they got to be upgraded, or the box is overloaded, or it's not grounded, or someone came in and did an electrical upgrade without a license, and you're looking at the wrong size feeders coming in on a 200 amp panel, wrong size everything.
So whose responsibility? I mean, initially when let's say a guy goes out there to sell a solar system, I mean, he's supposed to evaluate the electrical panel, I would imagine, right, to make sure that it's adequate?
Depends on the sales guy. Some sales guys are just sales guys. They don't have construction experience. They just know how to talk. Essentially, it falls on the guy who does a survey for the company. They open up the panel. They go in the attic. They look at the structure. They go on the roof, see if the roof is old, new, all sorts of things. So they're supposed to take hundreds of pictures, a lot of measurements, and be able to catch some violations. And then the guy who refused the photos after the survey, he's like your fail safe.
Of course,
he'll say, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This panel is fine, or he missed that, he missed this, he missed that. And it's a good, as a second backup option. Unfortunately, a lot of companies don't do that, but
Well, they just want to get these panels on the roof so they get a paycheck, right?
Correct.
I mean, that's what they're the main concern about. There's a lot of it's one of the industries that you hear a lot of stuff about, right? There's a lot of unknowns. It's from a homeowner's perspective, you feel like, is it really worth it? I mean, because I hear a lot of these nightmare stories. It's like a lot of industries. Same thing in roofing, same thing environmental where I came from. There's a lot of nightmare stories, and you hear it with solar. Let's talk about some of the benefits, though. Let's talk about some of the positives with solar. So why don't you talk a little bit about maybe a homeowner where you've had solar installed and would save them a ton of money, or they got a ton of tax credits or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, most of our customers are happy at the end of the day. They have the financing. A lot of customers reinvest their tax credit and their SRECs into the loan to pay off the financing. They're essentially bill free. All they're paying is a connection fee, which, depending on the utility, could be anywhere from like $2.95 to $23 if you're Butler Electric. I don't know if that's gone up. I haven't done a job in Butler Electric County in a while, but last time it was $23 just to have the right to have power from the grid.
Jeez, that's a month, $23 a month.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
That's the only thing we can't take away is a connection fee. Other than that, if everything is perfect, the sun, the roof space, the conditions, we could eliminate the bill 100% usually. So.
Yeah, I know that's an issue. At one point I had considered putting solar on my roof, but they came and did a survey and they said there's too many trees where the sun is coming. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because it has to be it's got to be pretty exposed to the sun in order to be eligible to get these panels, right?
Yeah, ideally you want like a zero shade situation. You want as few as obstructions as possible, so you get like the most energy cropped. The utility companies kind of cap you at your current bill, but they look at the numbers without the shade being accounted for. So even if there's shade, you can't add more panels to the system because the utility company, the numbers without the shade is this. So let's say if they cut the trees out, they're overproducing, so they want you to go above it,
Yep.
So you're kind of stuck on that one a little bit. There are kind of a few loopholes around it. Sometimes I tell homeowners, like, if you really want to maximize roof, you have roof for more panels. And I know this is not like ethical, but I tell like run a space heater on the back patio for a bit to run up your bill. And then we'll accommodate for that. Or if you're going for an electric car, we could do an estimate for that and then apply to the utility, see if we get approval for additional panels because they're going electric with electric cars.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So you have to have a certain amount of usage in order for those panels to be approved.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then ideally is the sun. You got to have good sunlight. If you're in the middle of a forest and your roof doesn't get any daylight, and it's not a good condition.
That's kind of what my situation. I'm in the woods. Yeah.
Yes.
So they were like, yeah, you're not eligible for it.
Believe it or not, I still have some customers, even with that situation, they still want to go for it. They're like, any savings better than nothing at all. But I'm like trying to explain to them, like, we're kind of throwing money away.
Yep.
If you're in that situation where you're only going to get like 30 or 40% benefit of a system, really take your bill away.
You hit on a little bit about car chargers. I mean, let's talk about that. Like Teslas in these boxes they put in garages now. I mean, do you guys do any of that stuff?
We weren't in the beginning. We're going to probably start doing them pretty soon. We're looking to include it as part of the solar sale, even if they don't have an EV. Give that option for them to have it. Basically, we're looking to just install it at the cost of the material without the labor. This is what it costs. That's what it's going to be called part of the solar package. Eventually, we're looking to go to an electric fleet ourselves, and it kind of be beneficial for us too, to give us a point to plug in while we're working.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially with these commercial units, the ranges on these vehicles aren't that great. So if you have a 180, 200-mile range, and then you're going to down South Jersey and then back,
It's cut it close.
You're cutting it close. In the wintertime, you're not going to make it. So if you have an ability to at least put a charger in someone's home and then use that to charge your vehicle, and then they have a different future use for themselves, that's going to be beneficial for everyone involved.
Yeah, which is huge. I mean, I feel like we're going into that world, right? So everything is going to be electric. I mean, with the technology coming out, with Elon's got going on with these self-driving cars that's coming out this year. I mean, no steering wheel. You can be able to just talk to it via AI and tell it where to go. It's already doing that. It has the technology in the newer Teslas. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be huge. I mean, what about in the wall? You could put the power box in the wall, right? Is that with solar? You could generate enough power to like store that power in case there's an issue? Or I guess it really doesn't matter if you have solar, right? I mean, you don't have to worry about losing power because how do you store the power?
If you have solar and the power goes out, you lose the power from the solar. That's because you don't want to be backfeeding the grid and hurt the guys that are working on the poles. They're expecting the lines to be dead.
Oh, okay.
And after on the other side of the transformer, you're looking at 13,000 to 40,000 volts.
Yep.
On the service side of things for them, at the lineman. So you have the option to go batteries, either have a dedicated sub panel or a whole house transfer switch and really power your house. But there are limitations. You can't go like a normal business day and operate your HVAC system.
You got to run lower. Yeah, it's like anything else. If you have a generator, you can't run the whole. A lot of time, well, they do have whole house generators, but you want to try to minimize the usage because you're going to burn through that fuel, and it's gonna work that generator really hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So the equipment I installed today, they have a couple different options. They have a battery option. They have something called sunlight only mode, meaning where you don't need batteries. You could literally have a transfer switch, a dedicated sub panel, and the panels will carry you during the day, and you'll meet your loads for
at night.
At night it shuts off, but it gives you the option then to upgrade the batteries a lot easier that way because you already have the heart of the system installed, and it's just now connecting the batteries to that transfer switch. So it's a way for someone to have off-grid capability, limited access, and then at the point they're like, you know what, I'm really tired of losing power at night when the sun goes out when we're in the middle of a power outage. Let's call them back and install some batteries. So it's kind of I guess you want to say a genius way this company thought of doing it, and probably one of the only companies out there has this technology. So
okay, and you guys are installing a lot of those, or is that something that you get requested a lot?
Recently, we've been installing quite a few of those.
Yeah.
The last one we did was an off-grid system of no batteries up in Lake Mohawk, and then we did another battery-less system up in Bud Lake, and a homeowner a year later asked for 3 batteries. So we went there and installed recently 3 batteries in his home. So
So you guys are obviously you have an electric license, right? You have an in-house electrician.
We have a couple electricians we used to work with us. One out of Fairfield and another one out of Elizabeth. The one guy at Elizabeth actually started with me a long time ago at the original solar company, worked his way to get his electrical license. I'm still in the process of getting my electrical license. For the longest time, solar was not recognized as electrical field in New Jersey, even though you needed to pull an electrical permit, which to me was crazy.
Yeah.
So I went to IEC program for 4 years at night to get my hours, my schooling, and everything else. So now just basically the guy I'm working with now, he's going to sponsor me to sit down and take the electrical test. So I've been doing electrical work underneath a couple of licenses through companies I worked for for a long time. Like the company I originally started in had their own in-house electrical license, so I was working on their license when I was employed as an apprentice. Another company out of New York I started working for, I was working on their license, and then I got lucky enough to be hired by this world company to be an inspector for a lot of jobs are going down in Morrison, Sussex, and Mercer counties. So I got to see the other side of the coin and actually inspect other people's work, and I got to see different techniques, different ideas of installing solar, some bad, some good. Sometimes like, I never thought of that. It's actually a really good idea. And sometimes like, what were you thinking? You look at some stuff, but
no, absolutely. I mean,
so you see a lot.
I'm sure there's a manufacturer's recommended like installation process, and probably you got guys that do it their own way, right? They think they know, better or whatever. I mean, what would you say the most challenging thing is about installing solar panels in someone's house?
Homeowners, homes, everything it's not cookie cutter. It's custom built, different roof pitches, different angles, different materials. Technology is changing year in, year out. I mean, you could be installing something that's like the highest quality material right now, and then within like 5-6 months, something new comes out.
Changes,
or a new panel comes out, higher efficiency, or a new inverter comes out. That's better than what you're installing, or they add another model to it and handles higher wattage modules and everything else. So.
What about Tesla solar panels? I mean, the ones like they look like shingles. Yeah.
I haven't installed any of those.
I heard they're a nightmare to install.
I've heard the same thing, and I've also heard a lot of people say it does not cover their electric bill.
Really?
So
wow.
It's
cool concept.
It is.
I mean, I think eventually he'll get it right because he usually does. But I think it's a little bit early for it because everyone I talked to is like, it takes weeks. You can't make money installing those shingles. Like they're basically shingles, but they're each individually. You have to like click them together. They're all interconnected.
And you gotta do a lot of leveling on the roof. Like
it's got to be perfect.
Planes are all wavy, so sometimes you have to shim it. Looks like I've seen an install going on while we're working on one site, and I feel bad for those installers up there, and they're having a hard time putting those things in. So
I talked to a guy who worked directly for Tesla putting those on, and he said it was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah,
he would definitely not. He's like, do not get involved with those. He's like, they're a nightmare,
and they're expensive, really expensive,
very expensive.
So.
They look nice. I mean, once they're on, I've seen a couple of shots of them. They look great, but
they do. And I think eventually that'll be the mainstream. There's a lot of other companies that have
GAF. GAF's got
got
some too. So I've been checking that out as well. They're actually pretty decent looking. They don't look like too bad, but they're fairly new. It's a new concept, so you kind of got to wait it out.
They gotta get the efficiency up. I still don't know how to meet the fire codes on that. But it's like solar side to fire regulations, like PATs on the roof, rapid shutdown compliancy. Meaning, if we run like a central inverter, you have to have these units on the roof underneath every panel. So when you flip the switch, the line is dead from the roof down. If you do like microinverters, which basically all we really install, it's AC from the roof down. So the moment the power is cut off, the roof is dead altogether. So it's safe for everyone. Yeah, it's really interesting stuff that's come out for a long time.
Yeah. What do you see coming up in the near future here for the solar industry?
From what I've seen, from when I started to now, I think within the next few years, we'll be installing 600, 700 watt modules for residential, maybe 1,000 watt modules for commercial. I mean, when I first started back in 2005, we were installing 165 watt modules. And,
big difference.
And commercial was like 300 at the time. And now it's, we're doing 440, 475 watt modules, and commercial 500, 600, 700 watts. So it's getting more efficient. Well, efficiency comes with a caveat. The panels are getting bigger.
Yeah.
So
harder for the installation.
Especially on residential. Trying to carry a panel that's longer than you are, and then the wingspan, you need like a basketball player wingspan to get the bolts or the end clamps on. I mean, 45, 46 inches wide, 72 to 80 inches long. Yeah. So it's getting there.
That's tough. Yeah. I mean, anytime you're working on top of the roof, I mean, especially doing anything like that, that's definitely, conditions get tough for sure. We were talking a little bit about that before, people working on ladders and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it's trying to. How are you getting that stuff up there? I mean, you're not walking that up a ladder, are you? I mean, sometimes. I mean, how are you getting those panels up there?
Depends. Sometimes we have to carry them up a ladder. Sometimes we have a power ladder too as well. Single story homes are real easy. Just pass them up. it takes a little bit more energy, shoulders and back, but it could be done.
Are you putting these panels on like a 10, 12 pitch or something like that steep, or not really? Are there limitations on pitches typically on a residential roof?
Well, the higher the pitch, you got to change the racking.
Okay.
They make special racking for anything over a 45-degree pitch. The thickness of the rail, the spacing of the anchor points for the rail as well. I try to in-house. I try not to sell anything over 30 pitch. It's a lot. After that, starts getting a little sketchy. Especially for the guys on the roof. It's you want them to be safe. At the end of the day, you don't want anyone getting hurt, anyone falling off the roof or anything like that, or God forbid someone loses a hammer and slides off the roof and damages some property, or someone down below who happens to take off.
Their hard hat or whatever.
And it gets caught. So it's different.
Yeah. What about warranties? Let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, you guys offer warranties? Is it in-house? Is it through the manufacturer like it is for roofing shingles? I mean, how does that typically work?
Manufacturers right now, depending on the modules or the inverters, they have really good warranties. Some 20-year, some 25-year. Some have what they call like a 2-tier warranty, where it's like 25-year production warranty or 12-year production and 25-year manufacturer. So it's quite different. So you really got to read the fine print on the panels. I generally try to offer what we call a true warranty, which is like a 25 year, meaning manufacturers and production warranty are tied in together.
And then when you say production, is that your in-house warranty? Is that what you guys are offering, or is that
production from the panel manufacturer?
Oh, from the manufacturer.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. As far as production warranty, it's in our contract. We do a sun eye on the roof when we do initial sale. So if there's shade, and we'll let them know, hey, your roof has potential to produce this power. This is what we have to submit to the utility company. But in reality, it's going to produce this because you have a tree, you have a chimney, you have a couple obstructions that are going to warrant the production to be lower. But, we make everyone aware of that before we install.
Yeah. So if anybody has an issue after the install, I mean, they're coming back to you 3, 4, 5 years later. I mean, as long as that manufacturer is still in business and it's a manufacturer issue, not like a roof issue, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how does that typically work? It's no problem dealing with the manufacturer. Because I know a lot, even with the roof, like with shingles, like it's difficult dealing with the manufacturers. A lot of time they look to put the blame. Oh, it's the installation. It's not it's not a material issue.
It depends on the manufacturer. There's a lot of solar panels out there, a lot of low grade, mid grade, high grade. They have this loose term in the solar industry called tier 1 solar panels, which you hear tier 1, like, oh my God, that's got to be the best solar panel on the market. And all tier 1 means it's mass produced. The company's been around a long time. And the quality is somewhat there. It doesn't mean like, hey, you're getting
the best of the best.
You're not getting the best of the best. Some companies that really had a great product, really had great warranties, one way or another, whether it be funding or the cost of materials too high, they're no longer around. Like we had a great solar panel in SunPower. That was like one of the best panels on the market. Another panel when I first started was Sanyo. They got bought out by Panasonic, and now Panasonic's no longer doing solar anymore. But those were some really good panels to install, high quality, thicker glass, low degradation, great. A lot of the manufacturers are out now. You just got to read the fine print and the warranties, especially if you have someone in front of you. A lot of it comes from overseas. I say majority of solar panels come from overseas. We have some solar manufacturers that use a name you think they're made in one country, but completely made in another country.
Oh, wow.
So, it's a lot of gray area when it comes to that. But some are great with warranty work, and some are not. They always say, did they follow recommended installation practices that they have on their website? Did the rail fall in the right parameters? Did they secure the wires properly? Did they size the wires right when it came to the roof? Did they have the repair with the right equipment? So there's a lot of loopholes.
Yep. Where they could cut corners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when a homeowner is hiring a solar company like yourself, I mean, what's your recommendation? I mean, it's, I know the typical, like, hey, make sure they have insurance, all that stuff, but like, what should they really be looking out for? How can they really vet a solar company to make sure that they're going to get a good quality system installed on their home?
Well, definitely about how long they've been in business for. References, reviews, the insurance most definitely is a big thing. Reputation, honesty. I have a list of customers that they're okay with talking to prospects and like, hey, give this guy a call. His hours after work is this, and
That's nice.
they'll call the homeowners and they'll have a conversation. Sometimes they'll have a conversation for like 1-2 hours with these people.
Wow.
And,
Just talking solar.
Just talking solar.
Yeah.
A lot of things too is not to rush the sale. That's one thing I'm not pushy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to push a guy into going solar if he's not ready. I provide the information, the material. Any salesperson should be doing that.
Yeah. Which is a big thing in solar. I mean, it's the same thing in roofing as well. There's a lot of high pressure sales guys out there. I always tell my clients, like, if they're trying to, I call, it's one call close, right? That's like an industry term, but most homeowners don't know what that means. But they're trying to get both decision makers in the house, and they're not leaving without a yes, right? Yeah. Or a check. They're not taking no for an answer. And if that's happening, that's a red flag.
That's the worst thing you can ever have is when it's about dinner time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to eat, and you have a guy at your table that won't leave until you sign.
Yep.
And even you have to like forcefully take him out sometimes. I've had roofing contractors I vetted to come in and see if I could work with them. And right off the bat, when they're doing that, I'm like, all right, you got to go. Yeah.
No, it's a major red flag in my opinion. I mean, I don't want to be sold that way, so we don't preach that. I mean, we like to give clients options, educate them, let them make the decision on their time. Obviously staying in contact with them, not bugging them, but following up to make sure they have any more questions, we can answer it. But yeah, the high pressure close stuff is. I never did it. I mean, I've been in home services 20 years. I never had to do it, so I'm pretty dead set on not going that route. But I find that a lot of that happens in solar and in the roofing space for sure.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, there's even websites out there that you, as a homeowner, you put in your information, and they'll have different solar companies reach out to you via email, to try to sell you solar. And then they help the homeowner go and choose a solar company. I was part of one. I'm not going to name the site because they're kind of iffy. I didn't like the fact that it was like they didn't really vet the solar companies all that well.
Didn't let anybody in. Yeah.
But it was like in order to keep the solar company paying them referral money, they were like, oh, go with that company.
Yep.
It felt like they were just trying to keep the solar companies happy with a certain amount of winning leads. They were trying to steer the customers in, not necessarily like to the best in their customers' interest. It was just like a way to keep.
They just want to make money by selling leads. Yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of people don't understand that there's a lot of websites out there that predicate on, we'll put you in front of 4 or 5 solar companies, but they don't realize the solar companies are paying for those leads.
Yes,
and they're not necessarily.
You still have to vet those guys.
Yeah. You as a homeowner should vet those people.
100%. Yeah, no, you 100% have to vet those guys because those people are not vetting them. Just because they're recommending, you call these guys, they're not really vetting them.
No, they're not. Yeah. It's the same thing with other like homeowner-based companies like
Angie's.
We were part of Angie's, and I found out how they worked. I was like, I walked away from that after a while because they're not really vetting you either.
No, exactly.
But
well, that's kind of the whole point of us putting together this directory. Essentially, we want to bring guys together that in this market, really, it's a small vetted group of guys, contractors, home service contractors that kind of think alike. That give good quality service. Care about the customer. They're not doing high pressure sales. Pretty much all the stuff we've been talking about because it's hard to find those guys. Guys that are going to actually call back when a customer calls. They have a problem. They have a warranty issue. You're going to get a call back. You're not going to get ghosted. You're not going to get your deposit stolen. All that stuff. It happens a lot in this home service, right? A lot of shady guys. I mean, the barrier to entry in a lot of these home service businesses is really low. So anybody could get in and pop open a business and take your deposit, run, and not give you good quality work. And people get burned all the time.
Quite a bit. I mean, I've been burned in the past by customers. I've been burned in the past by companies that we do some subcontract work for. It's a risk you take, unfortunately. But you just got to vet the people you're doing work with and to work for, and as a customer as well as a business owner too.
All right. Yeah. So this conversation's been great, man. This has been awesome. We covered a lot of stuff. I think we brought a lot of value to homeowners today in reference to the solar industry. So I'd like to wrap it up with some rapid fire questions, and then we'll kind of see if you want to end it off with anything, and we'll kind of finish off. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right. Awesome. So what's the biggest lie New Jersey homeowners believe about the cost of solar?
All the ads that are free. Solar's free. Zero down. Government's paying for you to go solar. All these things.
I'm so shocked. It's not free. That's so crazy. I thought there's a lot of stuff in the world that's free.
Yeah, everything apparently.
Yeah.
But no.
So that's a marketing gimmick, huh?
It's a marketing gimmick. It's to get you to click, put in your information, and they're selling your information to a lot of other solar companies most likely, and you're going to get a lot of endless calls. all hours of the day with
Yep.
that. So the moment they start asking for your email and your phone number before they even start asking any real information,
Yep.
never.
What would you say the biggest mistake homeowners make when they're comparing solar quotes? Like I know in the roofing industry, you have 3 quotes that could be completely different numbers for the same, what seems to be the same roof. But when you really look at the details, it's not the same roof. So that's why there's a discrepancy in the price. So what would you think the biggest mistake is in the solar industry when comparing quotes?
Not going back to the installer, especially there's a big difference in quotes. Like, why is your quote so much more expensive than the other guy? Or why is it so much cheaper than the other guy? It generally comes down to either material, quality of work, or someone just marking it up as high as he can to see what it is. They get him to say yes. As far as the guy on the bottom of the totem pole might be the cheapest, might not be necessarily the best installer to go with. He might be, he might not be. It all depends.
Yep.
And it all comes down to quality work and equipment. That's usually what it is. So.
Yep. What's the biggest myth around solar in New Jersey, specifically in the winter months?
I honestly want to know.
Do people think like maybe it doesn't work? Like you get snow, we get 6 inches, a foot of snow on your roof. Does the solar not work?
Well, if you get snow on the roof, it won't work until the snow comes off the roof. You need sunlight. You will get production in the wintertime. You have a lot of people that generally don't believe solar works in general. When you're sitting with those customers, sometimes it feels like it's starting to turn political, and it's like I got to get up and this isn't going anywhere.
Yeah,
I'm wasting your time, you're wasting my time, and you're not really interested, or they're just there to debate. And you get those people that do call and do want to waste time. So, but as far as I know, I've been doing this since 2005. I've never had anyone call me back and complain, hey, the solar's not working the way you told me it's working. So, so it is what it is. I tell people exactly what to expect and nothing more, nothing less, so.
Yep. What separates a good solar install from a bad one the homeowners never see?
A good solar install from a bad one. So if you're looking at it aesthetically, let's say if you're walking to a house and you're just looking, all of a sudden there's pipes everywhere in the roof, every which direction, going from one right to the other. And you could tell the roof has attic access. Why didn't you run inside?
Yeah, it's sloppy.
Pipe work on the outside of the house, equipment location being really far from where the electrical tie-in is. Low quality of work, just want to get in there, get it done. Other things too, if you see solar on the wrong side of the house, the north side especially.
Oh man, that's a rookie mistake. I mean, how can you make that mistake? So much oversight, it happens, I guess. Huh?
It happens, and believe it or not, sometimes it happens at the negotiating table. Maybe one of the wife or the spouse doesn't want the solar in front of the house.
Yes.
They want it in the back, and you try to tell them like, hey, the back's the north side, really shouldn't go. When it comes to that situation, I walk away too as well. I'm like, hey, I have integrity. I don't want to put something under work. It's not going to work.
If they want the sale, they don't care. They're like, no problem. You want the back? Sure. Wherever you want it. You want to put it underground? Sure.
Yeah.
Just sign here. They don't care.
Keep the panels in the garage. They'll work just fine.
Yeah, exactly. As long as that sale happens. No, I get it. No, this has been great. I mean, one last question. So we asked everybody on the pod, what's your recommendation for a restaurant in New Jersey specifically? I mean, that could be anywhere from where you maybe did a job or around where you live. What restaurant would you recommend?
Lately, I've been, because I do a lot of work at McGuire Air Force Base, and then I go see my daughter at Rowan University when I'm down there. There's a place called Alicia's 5-Star Dive Bar. Great atmosphere, good music. They always have something going on at night, whether it be a band or an event, and the food's pretty damn good, and staff's really friendly and attentive, so.
Okay.
It's a fun place.
It's called 5-Star Dive Bar.
Yeah, Alicia's 5-Star Dive Bar down South Jersey.
I would have to check that out. That's one I haven't heard of yet. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a ride from here. It's probably an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay.
But if you're in that area, it's worth the stop.
Awesome. All right, Hilton, is there anything else you'd like to add just to kind of wrap things up here in reference to solar and your business and kind of, what you guys do?
Really do your research on the customers or the companies that are trying to sell you solar. Really look at the material they're trying to sell you. The information's everywhere. I mean, Google, AI, you can just look the stuff up. And just make sure that they're looking out for your best interests and not them. Be the guy to ask about the roof condition. Be the person to ask about is my electrical panel size right for this install? Do I have the right exposure? Are there trees going to be shaded? Ask those questions. A lot of homeowners don't ask. Ask how they're going to seal the penetrations in your roof.
Yep.
What type of racking are you using? What type of feet are you going to put on a roof? Are you using a flashing? Are you using a flashless version of the foot? There's all sorts of material out there. Are you using new equipment? Because a lot of solar companies out there will buy leftover product
Oh,
that's
wow.
obsolete in bulk, and then that's what they'll sell.
Yep.
Yeah, if you see a wattage model of panels below 400 watts, it's something left over from a few years ago. You know,
Yeah.
and the warranties aren't going to be the same. Maybe the company's no longer around that built those modules too. So really look into it, do your homework, ask the questions, and then after you leave, compare the quotes. You know, just don't go for the cheapest, don't go for the most expensive, but do your homework.
Yep. Yeah. It sounds like you got to just trust the guy you're hiring. You know, do your
Basically.
research. You know, on the company you're going to hire, and how can homeowners get in contact with you if they're interested in solar?
Well, our website, sundialnj.com. We do work in all of New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania, Orange, Rockland County, Staten Island, New York. So we're pretty much covering a good amount of ground. The website will probably be down in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be redoing it. It's really outdated. We haven't had the time to kind of get on top of it. Or you could, call the number on the website. Or my cell number too. I could give it out. It's 201-841-2944. All my customers have my cell number. They call me directly whenever they need. So I'm always in reach.
Okay, awesome. You can also find Sundial on our directory as well at the Black Book. That is Teddy Roofing / Black Book, and this episode will be there. We'll put some shorts there. We'll tie in all your reviews and your contact information there as well. All right, man. Thanks. I appreciate you coming on. This has been great, and look forward to work with you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, man.